Hey, you got time for a beer? I know I do. Welcome to my show. My name's Jake. It's not Thursday, but I do have a fairly new beer for you. This is the first time I'm sharing it with you, but also I've had it a couple times because it is amazing and I couldn't wait to do it for a Thursday, so this is what I got. Don't forget, you can find me on Untapped, YouTube, and Twitter, all at TubaJake_69. On Instagram, I'm just TubaJake_. Not the 69 part, just underscore, because hackers suck and that happens sometimes. Don't forget to tell me your stories. I like to hear them. Hopefully you do too, because I'm going to tell you stories. Hopefully you like to hear those, because that's what happens here. The beer that I have today is the Raspberry Vanilla Porter from Austin Brothers. They're out in Alpena. It's 6% ABV porter with raspberry vanilla. And it's perfect. This is exactly what I like. Exactly. I love this beer. It's my favorite. I've had, this will be the third one. There are very few others that I've had that are better than this one. It's amazing. Truly. So, let's get this review started. Okay, so I don't know if I've told you this before. Actually, I'm positive that I have. But my favorite beers are light, dark, and a little bit fruity. This porter is dark. Quite obviously, you can see it right now. Light. It's 6% ABV, which is fairly light for a porter. And vanilla and raspberry means that it's a little bit fruity. It's amazing. This is exactly what I like. Exactly. I wish more people would make beers like this, because this is exactly what I look for every time. And do you know how hard it is to find a stout that is flavored like this that isn't like an 11%? 11% is too much for a beer. Not that I'm going to yuck anybody's yum, and usually I love the flavor of those 11% stouts. Because they generally taste like something delicious, like pecan pie or raspberry donuts or whatever. Okay, so this one, it's a porter, so it's dark. Generally, they don't have the black malts in them. They're just a dark malt. And obviously there's some IBUs in it, because what's beer without hops? It's not beer. Ask the Germans. This one, okay, so it's supposed to be a little bit heavy, wee heavy, if you will, which wee heavy is perfect for today because it's St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. It's 6%, which is light for a porter. Usually those are around 7% or so. Actually, they're like 5.5 to like 8 generally for a porter, and then you get those pastry stouts that are like 12. And I don't know, I like the flavor of them usually, but mostly they just taste like alcohol to me. And while I like the flavors of them, you can only have like one a day, and that's not my favorite. This one is very sessionable, and I like that about it. So I've told you all about what it's supposed to be and a little bit about what it is. Let's have a drink. Okay, so the malt is there for sure. It's deep and dark, and I like that. It doesn't hit you right in the face with the alcohol, which is great. I like that a lot too. So dark and light, so far so good. And then, okay, so you get the raspberries. It's a very light raspberry flavor. The vanilla makes it taste a little bit more malty, which is interesting because it makes it taste like Crunchberries. This tastes like a porter with Crunchberries in it, which that's fine. It tastes like one of those kinds of stouts with whatever kind of dessert they decide to put in it. It tastes really good, and it's fairly light, and this is amazing. Is there a beer that this reminds me of? Okay, so today is St. Patrick's Day. This reminds me of a Guinness with Chambord in it. I haven't ever had anything else that tastes like that, but Danny Ferrison was like, hey, try this way. Try this Guinness like this. And I have never tasted anything quite like that. Chambord is a raspberry liqueur. Raspberries. Comes in kind of a cannonball thing. Looks like a crown around the outside. A lot of times, I don't think recently, but a lot of times there's a little crown on the top too. It tastes, that stuff tastes like a raspberry cordial. Go figure, because, you know, it's a cordial. Yeah, you know, with the alcohol, but light and fruity, because that's how cordials work. Man, it's amazing. I really like this beer. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that looks like something that I would really like. And then I tried it right as soon as I got home. And I decided this is exactly what I like. Exactly what I like. This is exactly what I like. Everybody's like, what are you talking about? Dark, light, fruity? This is it. It's dark. You can see. Yeah? Dark. It's light, 6%. Light. I would hope that it'd be lower than that, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? And it is fruity. It definitely tastes like fruit. Raspberries, which is fine. If they wanted to make this with any other flavors that are fruit, I would be fine with that. Blueberries, cherries, apples, possibly. Those would all be very good ones. You could make this with peanuts or pecans. Also very tasty. It would be very good. A lot of the beers that I've had that are the closest to what this is have been peanut butter porters, actually. The one from, I want to say it's Right Brain. The one from Pigeon Hill. Pigeon Hill's got a couple that are really close to this too. They've got an oatmeal cookie stout that's very close to this. So far as ones that I like. This one's better. Not that they're both very good, but this is exactly what I like. Exactly. Man, just keep repeating the same things. And it's taking up a whole bunch of time, which is perfect. Because I don't know that I've got something specific on this one. So far as stories go. If this reminds me of a story. It kind of actually reminds me of a couple of different stories. So, I went to do my clinicals in Tawas. So I lived there for from about September through about May in Tawas. To be fair, I didn't live directly in Tawas because I had a friend of a friend that had a guest house kind of thing on Lake Huron, it was beautiful. But I only got to stay there until the end of October, early November. I was really hoping to be able to stay through Thanksgiving, but it started freezing up and she had to shut that down because otherwise the pipes would freeze and you don't want that. So I got to stay there. And then I moved to a hotel they rented by the month and I stayed there for the rest of the time in East Tawas. It was very nice. I liked it up there. It was fun. But it was also very cold. Like January, February, it was cold enough that I couldn't start my car a few days. So I had to take a trip up to Oscoda, which was fine. It's not very far from Tawas to Oscoda, just to make sure that my car was still going to be running. So I got done with work, and instead of going running, I went and drove north, and then I drove back south. And it was still light outside because I started early in the morning and I ended in the mid-afternoon, which is fun, which kind of reminds me of this because up north, and it was a great place to be at that point in time. The other thing, actually, mostly the reason that this reminds me of something like that is because really the oatmeal cookie stout, I think that the first time that I ever had that, I bought it from a Meijer store in Gaylord. I got into some trouble at work, so I had to take a few days off, and because I did something kind of dumb, but also I got to keep my job, so I wasn't super dumb. So with one of the days that I had off, I decided to go and watch the sunrise at the Straits of Mackinac. It was wintertime. I did not really get to see the sunrise at the Straits of Mackinac. I got to see it rise super south of the Straits of Mackinac, and it was not as cool as I was hoping it would be. I would have had to cross the bridge to be able to see the sun come up over Lake Huron there. Maybe I'll get to see that someday. It's not going to be soon because that's not how my schedule works anymore. So on my way home, I bought some of that beer, and I had some of that on the next day. I did, for real. This is really good stuff. I would have a lot more of it, for sure. I've got a quote for you. This one is from Mia Hamm. She is a very good soccer player. She said, "Celebrate what you've accomplished, but raise the bar a little higher each time you succeed." So if you do something well, keep doing it better. Keep celebrating the fact that you've done it, but also do it better. Because you can. You've already done it that well once. You can do it better again. Better. Do that. Don't not do that. Do that. So anyway, you can find me on Untapped YouTube, Twitter, and Untapped YouTube, Twitter, at TubaJake_69. On Instagram, you can find me at TubaJake_. Don't forget to tell me your stories. I like to hear them. I like to tell them. Please let me tell them to you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so that more people can hear my stories. I really want more people to hear my stories. Please help me with that. Thank you. I'll tell you what. I'll see you next time when you got time for a beer.